Hi guys, name an industry and you can point to an impact Brexit has had on it. Craft beer Brewdog has certainly not escaped that. Bloomberg UK interviewed the CEO and co-founder of the Scottish company, and he explained how Brexit has been tragic for UK businesses and has delivered zero benefits. Now, the company operates an export business but also has pubs in a number of European countries. Now, this comes at a time when former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney warned Brexit is causing a weaker pound, higher inflation and weaker growth, with the OBR forecasting a 4% hit to GDP and a 15% blow to UK trade intensity.
You've been strongly anti-Brexit.
We have been, yes, we have been. And that's had a significant negative impact on our business, which is really tough. So we sell so much beer in mainland Europe. We own and operate our own bars in France, in Germany, in Italy, in Holland. And just getting our beer to those bars is now significantly more expensive, significantly more difficult. Getting beer to our customers in Europe has been significantly more difficult as well. So for me, it's just massively handicapped UK companies that do business in Europe with zero benefit at all. I think it's been tragic for UK business, and I think a lot of the economic issues the UK is facing over the last 12 to 24 months, more inflation than other places, harder to do business, is as a result of the catastrophic decision to leave the EU and just really cripple businesses in the UK for no reason at all.
There are two main issues to talk about here. First of all, the fact that many businesses have now discovered that they are exporters. Before, if you wanted to sell goods around the single market, you put it in a box and send it off. Very, very little paperwork was involved. Now, because the UK is outside the single market, or Great Britain, I should say, is outside the single market, and the UK is outside the EU, which I'll get to in a moment, it's much more difficult. And certain businesses have already been exporting around the world, the Scottish whisky industry. They understand what this is all about. They are, of course, impacted by Brexit because they're selling whiskey into the single market, but they have lots of experience of selling goods all around the world. But many small businesses and medium-sized businesses in Britain are learning this for the first time and experiencing this for the first time as exporters outside the single market. And it's difficult and it's complicated and it's expensive. And then the second point here is that the UK can ask the EU to make it easier, but there's no obligation on the EU to make it easier for UK businesses. So the UK is no longer, as it's no longer a member of the European Union, it has no power over any of this. So the EU is making the decisions. The UK is left outside. And businesses can put pressure on the UK government to try and get a better deal or whatever, but the EU is under no obligation. Now, it may actually be worse than that, because businesses in the EU will be saying, no, we don't want to protect UK businesses. We don't want to make it easier for them to export into the single market because they're competitors. So it's actually beneficial for us if UK businesses are suffering. Business is a cutthroat world. So until the UK rejoins, is at the decision-making table, it will have to follow the rules. And the rules are always changing. So the UK has to follow these rules. It has no influence on the EU when it comes to changing these rules. And small businesses and medium-sized businesses in the UK have to adapt until, the elephant in the room, Brexit, is gone. And Brexit will not be done until the UK rejoins the EU and eventually the single market. But unfortunately for businesses like Brewdog, it's going to be difficult moving forward. Larger corporations can throw money at the problem. They can just move operations into the single market. But for smaller companies, especially ones that were founded or based in the UK originally, it's much more difficult. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.